St. James Park is located on the north shore of the Mississippi River and runs parallel to Bell Street. It is named after the adjacent St. James Anglican Church, constructed in 1881 to replace an original frame church, and whose bells are heard all across town. This location was the site of one of Carleton Place's earliest industries. In 1846, James Rosamond, an early settler from Ireland, built a water-powered woolen mill here on the river's edge. It had 2 power looms and was the first of its kind in eastern Canada. Rosamond built his house across the street where it still stands today. Rosamond left town in 1856, taking his business to nearby Almont, where he was tremendously successful. In 1867, James Gillies arrived in town to construct a sawmill. Together with partner Peter McLaren, they built a large water-powered mill that employed 100 men and produced 100,000 feet of sawn lumber a day. The footings of their docks and machinery can still be seen in the river when the water is low. Sawn lumber was kept nearby on Bell Street, where Elliott Hall stands today, and on the site of today's Commons Park. In 1879, a spark from a passing railway engine started a fire in the lumber yard and destroyed 13 million feet of sawn lumber. By 1888, the Gillies and McLaren sawmill had been expanded and had doubled their output. It was purchased by a syndicate of lumbermen, including Edwards of Ottawa lumber fame. It was now known as the Canada Lumber Company. This mill ran until 1897, by which time all the timber lots of the Ottawa Valley were greatly depleted, and there simply weren't enough resources left to sustain production. The mill was demolished in 1908, and riverbed excavations were undertaken in preparation for a new electric power plant. A concrete dam was built, and by 1911, a hydroelectric generating plant was on site, built by flour mill owner Horace Brown, whose mills are directly across the river from the park. He not only provided light to his mill buildings, but was able to offer lights to all residents of Carleton Place. This plant was later acquired by Ontario Hydro and used until the mid-1940s. The building was demolished in 1973 and a new dam constructed. The land along the river was retained by the town for use as a public park. In 1985, the International Cairn was unveiled in St. James Park. The cairn contains stones from 20 countries throughout the world, stones that are now joined together to symbolize international goodwill. Stones were donated by local citizens and by embassies in Ottawa. In 2019, this memorial to town employee Keith Lesway was installed in the park. Lesway died from a work-related injury in 2007. He had long admired the early fire hydrant originally located on Lisgar Street, and upon its removal, it was incorporated into the memorial. St. James Park, with its beautiful flower gardens and views of the river and town hall, is a perfect, peaceful spot to sit and contemplate history on the north side of Carleton Place.